Welcome back to the Lost Library and the continuing story, The Life and Suffering of Sir Brante. It is year 1140, Egmont's speech. Just a few days into the year, Mayor Egmont, chairman of the Lesser Quorum and owner of several silver mines, made a speech that caused quite a stir in the province. Though a commoner, Egmont had the gall to demand that the Magran authorities both enforce and obey imperial law. Mayor Egmont: what's the use of the imperial laws if they aren't enforced as they should be? Even today, any Anazot nobleman who gets up on the wrong side of the bed can draw his sword and run a commoner through with impunity. These gentlemen may be our rulers, but does that mean they can defy the Emperor's will? Sir L. Bourne has been appointed to enforce the rule of law in Magra. How come the prefect doesn't see this? We commoners aren't trying to seize the noble lot and take over the province, but the rule of tradition is a thing of the past. This is the age of justice. We may not all be equal in its eyes, but even the nobles and clergy must obey the law. The Magran aristocracy is furious with Egmont and demands that he be silenced. But the rich industrialist has too much money and too many connections to be dealt with so easily. You hear more and more rumors about secret societies of commoners appearing in the city, plotting against noble rule. The gentry fears that Egmont and his peers might be behind this, but they have no proof. At least for now. Father Lenart, abbot of the Temple of the Silver Tree and leader of the New Believers, supports Egmont and has spoken publicly in his favor. Father Lenart: the twins themselves entrusted the noble estate with the right to rule over the common folk. But rulers must also care for their subjects. The old faith is mistaken. No commoner should ever be forced to suffer. It is for this very reason that the imperial law exists. It is there to ease the people's suffering. May those laws be duly enforced, and may they serve all the people of the empire. Okay, let's take a look here and see how things are coming along. So power in the province of Magra has gone up a little bit by 1. The order in the province has dropped by 1. Okay, gotta watch that. The wealth of Magra has also dropped by 1. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. New part of Chapter 4, the printed page. The first days of spring. It is early morning. The carriage bounces over a pothole on the road, jolting you awake. The village of Salminia is already on the horizon. You are close now. You travel alone, escorted only by David Ageronoman and his champions of faith. Father Ulrich was so intent on denying Jeanne the chance to investigate the print shop that he called for an Inquisition tribunal meeting for this very purpose. Your mentor thought you better prepared for the journey to Salminia, and the other inquisitors stood by him. Furious as she was, Jeanne had no choice but to accept the tribunal's decision. She saw you off before your departure. Not one for affectionate farewells. She gave you a stern admonition instead. Jeanne: remember, only the clergy may preach and interpret the words of Isatias. Such is our lot and the burden of the priestly estate. We are the ones who are educated and trained to guide laymen to the righteous path. A commoner or noble who expostulates on the twins is thus guilty of defying their lot and shall suffer at the foot of the shining pillar for all eternity. The books from this accursed print shop pose a grave danger to every member of the noble and common estates. I'm counting on you, Jack. Make those apostates pay for what they've done. The carriage shakes as it rolls down the bumpy Magran High Road. You pass the time before your arrival by flipping through the pages of the book that started this investigation. It is a paper-bound tome, and so unusually light. You look through the familiar lines, the teachings of Isatias. In this section, the prophet outlines his thoughts on understanding the lots. And so the twins did descend upon the land, clad in flesh. They walked their path among the living and brought their word. Blessed was the Arachnean race to carry their rule throughout the land, transforming the land to suit their own design, for this design was pleasing to the twins. And so the twins did anoint the bloodline of Tempest to rule over a worldly kingdom. Such was their will and love and law. And so the blessed, the Arachnean Empire came to be. And so the law of this land became intertwined with the law of the heavens. And thus spake the elder, He who lives a righteous life shall know eternal bliss upon the peak of the shining pillar. And thus spake the younger, He who defies the law in life shall find eternal torment at the foot of the shining pillar. What is a righteous life? The elder would not say. What is defying the law? The younger would not say. But there was no malice in this, nor was there any secret. The twins named the blessed Arachnean Empire their worldly kingdom, and thus, for all eternity, the shape and form of the empire shall be pleasing to them, and the laws of the empire shall be the laws given to us by the twins. Thus do we all serve the empire, and thus do we fulfill their will. The nobleman serves with the sword and rules over other estates, for such is his noble lot. The commoner labors for the good of the empire. Your eyes shift to the notes appended to these lines. Their author is unknown. Prophet Isatias, being the first disciple of the elder, addressed the twins by their side. What is your will? He asked. How does one live a righteous life in keeping with your law? He was granted a revelation and given a reply. There can be no doubt that this is the truth, just as there can be no doubt in the doctrines that have guided the people of the blessed Arachnean Empire to the peak for more than 1,000 years. But this answer was given to the prophet in a time when the world was unlike the world of the present. The Arachnean Empire was surrounded by enemies on all sides, and many lesser races and civilizations lived among us. Powerful sorcerers fought to resist the will of the true gods, and priests of false gods were corrupting the people's souls with their profane rites. This was an age when the Arachnean Empire had no nobles of the mantle, nor any nobles of the human race, nor did it have any commoners to toil and labor and be ruled over for the good of the empire. The empire has changed drastically since the time when Prophet Isatias was given his answer. The empire, its form and its laws, have all changed. And so our path of service to the empire and the twins must change as well. We must cast away the old answers. We must forget Isatias and the lots. The carriage comes to a halt. It is time to put the book away. You have reached the village. The locals are ready for your arrival. There are no women or children outside. Only men. They casually lean on pitchforks and scythes as though they just happen to have them on hand. The miners remain close to their pickaxes and sledgehammers. They eye you with suspicion, waiting for you to act. And so you speak to them loudly. There is a print shop in the village. Where is it? The villagers do not answer. They only clutch harder at their mattocks and staves. Some of them reach for rocks. The peasants surround you on all sides. The champions of faith, in turn, reach for their swords. Captain Agronomen is ready to give the order to attack at the slightest provocation. But you spot a figure up on the hill, a man with a staff, dressed in white. It is Father Lenart, abbot of the temple by the silver tree. He waves to you and walks down the hill. The crowd parts before him. Father Lenart: Brothers and sisters, have no fear. I am sure our guests from the Order of the Inquisition have come here with no ill intent. Please, good inquisitors, leave these people be. They were just trying to protect me. They don't realize that the twins' protection is the only shield I need. Come with me, my friends. I will show you what you seek. He guides you to a large house up on the hill. Inside are several printing presses. Young people dressed in white are tending to them, printing new pages, sorting them, and binding them into books. The print shop workers freeze in fear when they notice your black cassock and the silver seal on your side. Father Lenart: Do you see this, dear brother? These are all books that teach the new faith. There is neither heresy nor apostasy here. This is education, and the Patriarch of Magra has approved it. Lenart produces a scroll and shows it to you. Patriarch Cassius: I, Cassius, Patriarch of Magra, hereby grant Father Lenart, abbot of the Temple of the Silver Tree, permission to study and annotate the writings of the great prophet Isatias. For it is within that the lot of the priests to study the twins and interpret their will. Father Lenart: Please understand this, brother. It is true that any layman may seek guidance from a priest, but no priest can guide every decision a person makes, for we are all endowed with free will. If the people learn more about the twins, it will be much easier for them to follow their will on their own and chart their own path to the peak of the shining pillar. David Agronomen: Enough of this heresy. Only priests have the right to interpret the faith. So said Isatias. This is your priestly lot, your duty and your burden to bear. But you new believers now seek to compel laymen to shoulder this burden. They have been explicitly forbidden to bear it. You're just leading people straight to torment at the foot of the pillar, and you're saying this is how it's all supposed to be? Please do not be so quick to blame me and our doctrine. What you have just said is also an interpretation of the lots. Captain, even though you claim it is not your burden to bear. But I don't judge you at all. For anyone who seeks their love, it is only natural to seek an understanding of their law. Father Lenart: The teachings of Photis are not forbidden. The new faith is not a heresy, but a path to salvation. We will continue to preach our doctrine and look for other paths to the peak that have been rejected by the old faith. It saddens me to see that our teachings are still met with such fierce resistance from the clergy, even here in Magra, the birthplace of the new faith. Even when the patriarchs of Archnia and Astinia have acknowledged the truth of the new faith and preach its doctrines themselves. Captain Ageronim's brow furrows. He looks at you. It is your lot to judge matters of the faith. You are the one who must decide. Destroy the print run. These books must be banned. Leave the books alone. You use the Patriarch's permission as an excuse to let the books be published. Redact and censor the books. The books will be published, but only when you are done editing them personally. Yeah, that's because I need... Willpower's fine, but I need theology at 15. Okay, well, I need to increase the theology, and I would think we need to destroy the print run. I mean, that's what Father Ulrich sent us here for. This is the mission. Let's complete it. Destroy the print run. You stand up straight and command Father Lenart and his new believers to evacuate the premises of the print shop. The scroll from Patriarch Cassius says nothing about printing books, and casting doubt on the teachings of Isatius is bound to spawn a multitude of heresies and sects. The sacred texts must remain immutable and untouched. Only the clergy has the right to interpret the law of the twins in keeping with its lot. With a deep sigh, Father Lenart obeys. One of his disciples attempts to express his outrage, but the champions of faith drag the young man out of the print shop and toss him into the dirt in front of the building. The champions pile all the books outside, douse them with lamp oil, and put them to the torch. Only gray ash remains. The villagers spot the fire from afar. You hear their angry cries. The hostile mob heads in your direction, their weapons at the ready. Father Lenart. No, please, stop. For the sake of the twins, blood will solve nothing. David at Argonim. Draw your swords, men. Inquisitor, bind them with a spell. That is an order. You obey. The captain is a noble. War is his lot, and right now you are a weapon he must wield. You clutch a thin silver slab as you whisper a prayer. The power of the twins surrounds the villagers with a white glow. Some of the attackers freeze in place, unable to move. The rest hurl themselves at the champions of faith. Captain Agerononim pushes you behind the champions. You can barely see what happens next. Father Lenart's voice breaks through the angry clamor of the mob and the clash of weapons. Father Lenart. Stop this! I beg of you! Bloodshed will bring nothing but ruin! You ready several more silver slabs, clutching at them even harder. A white glow begins to spread away from you in all directions. You utter a prayer to the younger, and his power paralyzes the foes closest to you. You pray to the elder, and the wounds that cover the body of a prone champion flare white and disappear. Drop by drop, the silver drips from your hands and dissolves in the air. The villagers are retreating. 3 of them have died a lesser death by the champion's swords. Their bodies disintegrate and vanish. More are lying on the ground, bleeding and groaning as they wait for the end. By the grace of the twins, your company has suffered no losses at all. Father Lenart is on his knees before a mutilated villager, healing his wounds with a prayer. Father Lenart. We do not do this, Rutger, ever. Bloodshed begets only bloodshed. You will never meet the twins if you continue on this path. Lenart turns to you. Father Lenart. May I assume I am to come with you? You return to Anazot together, escorted by the champions of faith. 1 week later, Father Lenart has to face the sacred tribunal. Patriarch Cassius attends the trial in person. Since Father Lenart used his permission as a pretext for his activities, the tribunal wishes to hear his explanation. Patriarch Cassius. I only gave Father Lenart permission to study the works of Isatias. I never authorized him to print heresy in my name. Once Cassius is done speaking, Abbot Lenart has no choice but to admit his guilt. He is forbidden to print books that have not been reviewed by the Inquisition. His penance is to take a vow of silence for 1 full year. Okay. So he was behind it all along, Father Lenart. Okay. Relations are -2 with him. Penance. Okay. Status. So we won't hear from him for quite some time. Power of the province continues to fall, but the Inquisition's power continues to rise. We're now indisputable authority. Good. Tolerance of faith, persecution of dissent. Okay. Reputation, the honor of your family and your position in high society. It affects how the nobility treats your family is rising. A modest position. We're closing in on renowned among nobles. Good. So Lenart is accused. In the year 1140, the abbot was convicted by the sacred tribunal and received a penance. The fire. So this event is a consequence of your previous actions. Conditions met. Tolerance of faith. Okay. Yeah. The fire. It is a beautiful morning. You are accompanying Inquisitor Ulrich to the site of a recent fire. A new temple on the western edge of the city was burned down this night. Father Ulrich. As Inquisitors, we have to visit these smoldering ruins, but I have no intention of staying long. This temple is no great loss. It was built with the donations of new believers, hoping to find a spiritual refuge there. I don't think the Inquisition should waste its time looking for the person who started the fire. The scorched frame of the temple resembles an enormous skeleton. An acrid stench hangs in the air. The parishioners who fought the fire all night are wandering about, dazed and covered in ash. You find the old abbot of the temple, Father Ignatius, sitting by a tiny pile of salvaged items. His gray eyes are full of tears. Ignatius Avertini. Inquisitors, just look at this. We collected donations for 4 years to build this temple. People gave us the last of their money. We'd almost finished it. The first service was already scheduled. We built a school nearby to teach the local children letters and numbers. But it went up in flames too. The icons of the twins, our books, It's all gone. Those renegades set fire to our temple. No one else would commit such a crime. Tell me, Ulrich, will you find those godless wretches? You will punish them, won't you? I will speak frankly, Abbot Ignatius. This new faith of yours is a heresy and must be persecuted like any other false doctrine. The shrine you call a temple was burned down by the will of the twins. Whoever set it on fire did the Inquisition a favor. If it were up to me, both you and Father Lenart would have been burned at the stake long ago. The old man is astounded by his directness. He stands up, shaking. His voice sounds unusually loud. How dare you say such things? We are of the same faith. We both serve the twins. We both teach people and set them on the path to the peak of the pillar. And you call me a heretic? You have defied the lots, and the law of the younger along with them. Your laymen erected this temple without the church's authorization. Your laymen study the sacred writings and interpret their lots themselves. Your teachings are a venom that is destroying the ancient order of the blessed Archnean Empire. It is the duty of our order to protect people from such heresy. Only wooden boards and stones were burned. Human souls were saved. I think our duty as inquisitors is done here. Jack? You would like to stay a little longer. Father Ulrich. As you wish, but do not waste too much time. As Ulrich walks away, Abbot Ignatius follows him with a bitter look. The parishioners gather around hesitantly. Ignatius Avertini. It is all right, my good people. Despair not. This is not the first time we have seen or have been persecuted. It pains me to hear such words from our brothers in faith, from those who are supposed to protect us against the godless. The Inquisition may give free rein to our enemies. The Patriarch himself may turn a blind eye to our grief. But the hatred of men will not block our path to the twins. We will persevere. We will not yield. We will start the collection again and rebuild our temple for the glory of the twins. The parishioners meet this speech with disordered cheers, but you see despair and exhaustion in their faces. Your duty as a priest is to set people on the path to the twins. What is the best course of action here? Rebuild the temple. You will convince your father to donate some of the family funds to the cause. We have enough diplomacy. Admonish the parishioners. Here and now you will admonish the parishioners of the burned temple and bring them back to the old faith and the lots. Punish the arsonist. We don't know where they are. Nope. We're going to continue on this path. We're going to admonish the parishioners. Here and now you will admonish the parishioners of the burned temple and bring them back to the old faith and the lots. Of course we will. Of course we will. You raise your hand, calling for attention. In their love, the twins gave us the law, and this law established the order that the empire must follow. These people must renounce the false teachings of Photis and return to the true faith. They must remember their lots and observe them humbly and obediently. The temple that burned down will not be restored, since it has no place in this city. Such a temple does not belong anywhere in the empire. Such are just as the teachings of the new faith do not belong here. As he listens to your speech, Abbot Ignatius only clenches his fists in frustration. Seeing that this is the only answer they are going to get, the people slowly leave the scorched wasteland. You look at the charred statues of the twins. Their blackened faces appear twisted with rage. The persecution of the new believers is getting more and more aggressive. The only safe place left for the followers of Photis to gather is the Temple of the Silver Tree. But, sooner or later, the devotees of the true faith will get to it as well. All right. Tolerance of faith. Okay. Persecution of dissent. Yep, good. It's going down. Follow the plan. Follow the pen. Oh, this is good. Eloquence is finally starting to go up a little bit. +1. Still tongue-tied, though. Still tongue-tied. We need to get to clear speech. The new faith persecuted. An event has happened, and the new faith faces ruthless persecution throughout Megra, with no hope for reconciliation between the two doctrines. Okay. Don't mess with the old faith. Brothers in misery. Your home has been much more peaceful for the last year. The fights between Stefan and Gloria are not as fierce now. But how long will this last? Your job takes up all your time. You see your parents and siblings less and less often. Sometimes you don't even know what they are doing while you deal with the constant stream of duties. This morning you head out on urgent business. You take one step out of the gate and run into a uniformed gendarme. Captain Lenad. Jack Brante, your presence is requested at the prefecture dungeon. Taken aback, you ask what this is about. Captain Lenad. We have your brothers Stefan and Nathan Brante in a cell. They were arrested last night at the Steiner's Inn. They asked us to send for you. The cells in the prefecture dungeon are cold and damp. The guards lead you to the bars, and behind them you see Nathan huddled in the corner. Your younger brother is unshaven, more disheveled than usual, and reeking of wine and filth. Near the cell you see Stefan grimly sitting in a chair. You guess that the gendarmes thought it best not to put him in the same cell as his low-born brother. Upon seeing you, Nathan lets out a whimper, and Stefan cracks a bitter smile. The sheath on your brother's belt is empty. Ah, there you are at last. Jack, have a look at our younger brother. Yesterday, he got drunk in the company of some dubious fellows. They are commoners, yet they dared to surrender to pleasure. They started a brawl, wrecked the inn, and harassed the waitress. As soon as I heard, I rushed in to save this drunkard from shame. Nathan cowers into the corner. horror-struck. Stefan. I walked in and demanded that Nathan come with me, but his cronies wouldn't let him go. That's not true. You just grabbed me by the collar and dragged me after you. You nearly suffocated me, says Nathan. Stefan. Shut your mouth, So, brother, they seem to have some sort of sect. They all shouted defamations against the twin gods, and one of them grabbed me by the arm. I was forced to skewer this heretic with my sword. I hope a lesser death will teach him never to lay his filthy paws on a nobleman. Nathan. He was just trying to talk to you, Stefan. Stefan. Silence! Then the gendarmes barged in, and here we are. I have been accused of an unlawful murder. Apparently, the new laws allow killing a commoner only if he attacks first or wields a weapon. They say that in the event of an insult, I'm supposed to file a complaint with the prefecture. So now they're going to seize my sword for a whole year. What a shame. And it's all your fault, Nathan. Stefan gives the bars a furious kick. Nathan covers his face with his hands in despair. Stefan. Jack, brother, you are our only hope. Get me my sword back and get us out of here. And fast. We have to bury this sordid affair as deep as we can before anyone finds out. Save our family from shame. Ooh, boys. Okay. We've got a decision to make. We can't use our authority and we can't blackmail the judge, so we can take them to the Inquisition. We can ask Father for help. Let's see. Take them to the Inquisition. You arrange for the case to be entrusted to you as an inquisitor and free your brothers. Ooh. Ask Father for help. You persuade the head of the family to use his power as judge to free Stefan and Nathan. Refuse to help. You will not try to get your brothers out of trouble. Ooh. Relations are pretty good with Stefan right now, and they're very good with Nathan. Ask Father for help. Take them to the Inquisition. You arrange for the case to be entrusted to you as an inquisitor and free your brothers. This is a good one. Ask Father for help. Why didn't they call for Father? Something has happened. Why didn't Stefan call for Father? Take them to the Inquisition. Refuse to help. If I refuse to help, Stefan is without a sword for 1 year. And the family's ranking will drop. I would like to do this. What is this? Use your position as a judge to free Stefan and Nathan. I don't have enough occupation. I need 5 and it's at 4. So close. So close. If I take them to the Inquisition, Father Ulrich's going to find out. Everybody's going to know the decision I make. Okay, but here, look at him. Okay. What did they do? What's the worst thing that happened here? Nathan was drunk in a bar. Okay. But Stefan, he murdered somebody. He murdered a commoner. He's going to be in trouble. I can't do that. But then I can't refuse. Okay. I'm taking them to the Inquisition. It's a big decision. It's a big decision to make here. It's going to make it's going to make a difference. It's definitely going to make a difference here. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. You produce your Inquisitor's medallion and show it to the gendarmes. Your brother's case involves heresy, you explain. Hence, it must be transferred to the Inquisition without delay. Captain Lanad. But, Inquisitor Brante, we saw Sir Stefan run that man through right before our eyes. The law says... You glare at the gendarme captain. Is Lanad questioning your authority? Or does he wish to compel the Inquisition to take a closer look at all the prefecture's cases? Distraught, the gendarme nods obediently and unlocks the cell. The elder brother takes the younger by the scruff of the neck and pulls him to the door. Nathan staggers and shuffles along limply. You march after them, Stefan's sword in your hands. Your brothers are free again. Stefan sheaths his sword reverently. Stefan. I knew I could count on you, Jack. Not even a priest's robes could make you forget that our family's honor is always paramount. With a grim air, you agree. In order to rectify this situation, you had to take advantage of your office. Sooner or later, the city's clerics will become aware of it. Your abuse of power will inevitably harm the Inquisition's authority. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. Back home, Stefan starts lecturing Nathan. Stefan. From now on, there will be no more drinking bouts or other nocturnal exploits. Who are those rogues you've befriended anyway? Stop shaming this family. If you're so worthless, at least let others go about their business in peace. Do you understand, you blockhead? Nathan remained silent, staring despondently somewhere above him. You interrogate Nathan yourself. You have to ascertain whether he is really keeping company with heretics. You ask Nathan who the people he was drinking with at the inn were and what they were teaching him. Nathan. They weren't teaching me anything, Jack. We just decided that it was high time we stopped incessantly restraining ourselves and did whatever our souls asked of us. His soul, that is exactly what Nathan should be thinking about. You sternly expound the dangers of such insolence to your brother. Surely, now that he has been behind bars, he would not wish to end up in the dungeons of the Inquisition. Nathan furrows his brow and stares at you in silence. Whatever he is concealing, you will not be able to force him to reveal it now. Yeah, okay, Stefan Brante, our relations have gone up. But Nathan, now they went up a little bit too, okay. But he's becoming somewhat of a little bit of a troublemaker. Gotta watch out for him. Inquisition's power goes down. Down, damn it. The order is strengthening. Yeah, we were climbing too. Okay, we only lost one. We're gonna have some explaining to do. Scheming has risen. Okay. Inexperienced. Well, we certainly need to work on that. And with that, it is the year 1141. The principle of the will. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Conditions met, Inquisition power deaths continue. Here we go. The principle of the will, we will continue in the next episode. We're going to end this one right here. It's going into a direction that I hope I can control. I have a plan. Believe it or not, but I'm wondering if I'll be able to pull this plan off. It's going to be interesting to see. I hope you're enjoying the story. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back soon.